Perfect.
I bring the order for the Salem County Commissioners, our regular meeting for February 16, 2022. Call to order complete, and we have invitations for our CFO, and then we'll pledge allegiance. Stand.
Gracious God, we pray that you bless this meeting and all gathered here. Give us unity of spirit and guide us to work as one tonight. Help us to wisely evaluate the pros and cons of each decision and we thank you for all county employees and volunteers continuing to work to eradicate COVID-19 and ask you to bless the people in our Salem County community. We place our hearts and our minds in your hands. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given of this meeting by forwarding notice to the South Jersey Times and Elmer Times Company, and by posting notice on the bulletin board of the Salem County Courthouse and the 5th Street Office Complex, and by filing notice in the offices of the Salem County Clerk and the Clerk of the Board, all having been done at least 48 hours in advance.
Roll call, please.
Director Benjamin Lowry.
Here.
Commissioner Briscoe.
Here.
Commissioner Ed Ramsey.
Here.
Deputy Director Gordon Nostro.
Here.
Commissioner Lee Ware.
Present.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Commissioners, what's your pleasure with the minutes?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes from the February 2nd meeting, and minutes are to be received, approved, and recorded in the minute book.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. We have a presentation today from the Mosquito Control 2022 report. Jolene, it's all yours.
You have to turn it off. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. I was just asked to be here to review a report that we submit to the State Office of Mosquito Control Coordination and the State Mosquito Control Commission. The Commission provides state aid to Salem County in the way of a biological fish program, an equipment lease program, and when is necessary and their budget funds can allow, the air spray program. So all of this information was compiled. I actually did a 5-year overview just to give the commissioners here at the local level a good idea of what can change in mosquito control from year to year based on a variety of different factors. By state statute, all counties in the state of New Jersey are required to have organized mosquito control, and here at the county we have a department. Some counties have a commission, and we have a 9-person department. We service all of our residents. Most importantly, we have a disease surveillance program. We are here for not only the nuisance and the comfort of our residents, but most importantly for the health of our residents. Our disease surveillance program includes different state locations that we collect mosquitoes and test for a variety of different mosquito-borne illnesses. But we also have areas in the county that we tend to choose based on what's going on every mosquito season, so those areas will change. We have a biologist on staff that will send that information to the state lab, and weekly we get results so we can then make decisions on how to react. Last year was an extremely busy season for West Nile virus, and our county, Salem County, was the only county in the state of New Jersey that did not have any active viral activity, although we tracked heavily and we moved around and we just tried to catch it, but nothing popped up. So that was good news for us. I have a 5-year overview of how many mosquitoes are collected, and you guys can take a look at that on your own time if you have any questions later. I will be happy to answer. We also have a population surveillance program. We have anywhere between 15 to 20 traps in historical locations throughout the county, mostly on private property, some at state parks. We collect those traps 3 times a week, and we identify the mosquitoes. The mosquito species gives us a notation of what type of habitat they're coming from, should we not be able to locate it on our own. That pretty comprehensive way to look for tree holes in the area, swamps, cedar swamps, things like that, if we're not coming across them on our own. We do take requests for service, so the residents call our office and give us an indication of what's going on in their area, if they're getting bit, or if they have a lot of standing water, and then we respond by doing an inspection. The inspection is always our first method of response. We go out and we collect information and we decide how we are going to take the next step should there be one. Chemical control is a very temporary control. All of our inspectors are certified pesticide applicators, and the employees in the office keep all of the records straight and keep us compliant with the law. Our larval applications is the chemical that we apply to the water. We provide the material data sheets and all of the labels upon request at any time, and of course we have them with us at all times. Adulticide applications is our spray by truck. We have 4 trucks with mounted sprayers, and contrary to what some people think, a spray by truck is our absolute last method of treatment. If we don't have to spray and do an adulticide, we really don't want to do that. So you can see through the data that most of our inspection results end up either doing some hand cleaning to get water moving, doing some larval applications, and then if we have to, follow up with adult-side applications. We have a biological fish program. It's funded by the state. There is a hatchery in Hackettstown that they receive fish and they raise fish there for our program. So we have a lot of criteria that we have to meet in regards to what is a suitable habitat for fish. So for instance, if there's a woodland pond that we continue to go back and it's a mosquito habitat, and we have to treat every 30 days or every 180 days, depending on what type of material we had chosen at the time. If we get that as an approved site through the state biologist, we will send fish to the area and they will eat the larvae. So we can stop the chemical application and we can stop the funding of that chemical application. It does, yes. Some woodland ponds dry down, so we restock, but we've been extremely successful here in Salem County getting a population of fish, and they just maintain on their own. So we do go and back check. So, yep, and we really do hope that the state continues that program. A couple years ago, there was a grant that allowed the state to give a couple of fish setups to have a population on site. So we have a very small, we call it a fish shed, and we have a couple tanks that we do keep a population. So if our guys come back and say, listen, this woodland pond needs it and needs it now, we have the ability to go out and stock that right away. Source reduction and water management is actually a key component to our program in Salem County because of our landscape. So our water management projects that we have all of the excavators for and the bulldozers and all those things, we actually in the state of New Jersey are considered one of the largest water management programs. And we pretty much surprise a lot of people in our colleagues because we only have 9 people here. We have extremely talented equipment operators. We follow all of the permitting processes and what have you. And the source reduction, we go out, we will clean upland ditches, get the water moving, and we have control for years. So I've been here for 15 years, and in some areas we'll go back and hand clean and check, but the areas look absolutely wonderful and the water keeps going, and our mosquito habitats have been greatly reduced in those areas. The state of New Jersey provides some equipment. It's very old. We're hoping that they are looking to do some replacements, but they do pay for the maintenance of it. That's a deductible on our part, and then or for the major repairs, we are responsible for the maintenance. And all of that equipment is inspected by their agency once a year, and that is found usually either on the projects. We try to transport as little as possible, or back at the yard when not in use. I have listed on the report different projects that we have started and completed in the last 5 years, and we are currently working on one project out in Pennsville. We will have the employees working out there until probably mid-March, and then we'll switch over to treating for mosquitoes. We also do a lot of hand cleaning. You can see from the report that we've done over 15,000 feet of hand cleaning. It's very labor intensive, but the guys guys, they will record areas that we can't get to when we're out in the season, that need a little more attention and when we're just there for the inspection, and then we follow up when we go back in the winter months to do that. The highway agency stormwater permit that the road department is responsible for overseeing for the county, we do provide information for that permit, and not only for the county, but we send information out to all local municipalities. Our inspectors actually have to go out and inspect and potentially treat every single catch basin in the county. That's a lot. So since we're already there and the boots are on the ground, we share that information with the state and with the locals, municipalities, so they can go out and maintain, clean, repair, or just have the inspections on file so they can remain compliant as well. We have a lot of water control structures, sluice gates in our county that our guys will regulate the impoundment, the waters in the impoundments, which make a huge difference for mosquito control populations. Those water control structures are typically checked, if not daily, every other day to see what water levels we are, what precipitation is coming, do we have to regulate to keep us at a good hold so we don't have water levels rising and falling and hatching off eggs that potentially could have been there for 10 years or longer. We do have a tire collection program now. I have been attending meetings and realized that all counties have a tire amnesty program, and that is a big project to start, because here in Salem County we have no way to gauge what type of tires would be maybe brought to our facility for recycling. So I reached out to the Improvement Authority and I asked if there was any possible way through our Clean Communities grant that if mosquito control inspectors came across tires that we continually treat, and there are like little piles here and there in the woods that we have to treat every 30 days. A lot of mosquito species that are container breeders carry disease. So we constantly try to either drain the water, dump the water, or in tire situations we have to treat the water. So if there's 15 tires laying there, we'll mark it down, the guys will go back and pick up those tires, and then it's charged to the county's Clean Communities grant. The County of Salem or the Improvement Authority can remake that agreement at any time, but we've been successful since 2017 to continue to be able to take tires. The state air spray program funds by state statute for counties. We are not one of them, but graciously they have always allowed us to utilize the funding for the pilots and for the materials should we need it. We did an air spray back in 2018. That was our last air spray. That's when we had a sluice gate failure in Elsonboro Township. One treatment provided full coverage. We had full control from that. And in that case, the state paid for the pilot and we had the material. So it was a perfect storm. We can't always depend on that. So that is an emergency budget item that we might face given if we have a situation at one of the many dredge sites in our county. Obviously that would be communicated as needed. And the state, if they have the budget, they will absolutely provide that to us. But I usually don't get upset about that. The previous air spray was like in 2012 and then years and years and years before that. So that's lucky. But that was previous to pumping in at Fort Mott. They are pumping in there, and we do population surveillance and ground treatments constantly. So we have a good handle on that. A new surveillance program that we jumped into was a tick surveillance program in 2018. We have since been able to receive a $12,000 grant for this program, and we are providing surveillance on ticks at our 3 county parks on a monthly basis in order for the state of New Jersey and CDC to get a handle on if they need to try to control ticks or what the best method and approach would be. So that's been a quite interesting feat as well. Public education, we will partner with schools as requested, and we do the county fair. We try to get as much information out to our public. I am actually getting ready to partner with June and the health department to send out just a little clip on some flyers that she sends out to our residents just to dump your standing water, and a little bit of information about the mosquito life cycle as we enter our spring. We do have a small fleet, and obviously because we service the entire county, we do see miles on our trucks. It's about time to try to get those budgeted to be replaced. And basically that sums everything up. I just want to thank you for your constant continued attention and support to your mosquito control program here. And I am willing to take any questions or any visits in the future.
Commissioner?
Gentlemen, that was a fantastic report. It really was clarity and an overview of what you're doing. It came to mind that this is something that sort of dropped off the radar screen with COVID-19, but is there still Zika surveillance going on? Have we had any penetrance up here? Is that still a hot button item, or is it pretty much gone?
So we do test for Zika, and luckily here in Salem County, we haven't had positives, but it is definitely on the platform of testing that we send for. We cross-test, so when we send mosquitoes, if it's a species that carry a certain disease, we absolutely ask for that testing. But we have not seen that or had to do it right here in Salem.
Good, I was saying, in my little world, that was an important consideration.
Yes, absolutely.
Joe,
Yes.
great report. Hand cleaning, now what's that entail? I mean, with a shovel and a hoe?
Boots on the ground. Yeah, so
Serving water.
the guys go out, they have potato rakes, we have chainsaws, should we have to chunk out a tree, any type of hand tool, you know, put your boots on, put your hip waders, your chest waders, whatever you might need, and your gloves, safety glasses, hard hats, and they go to town. It's labor intensive, very labor intensive. Yeah.
Is Elsinburg your leading community as far as mosquitoes?
Not all the time. Not all the time, but it can be, absolutely.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So we have a new employee coming, we'll welcome her. So
Yes.
George said, the board said welcome on board.
Okay, thank you. Very excited. Tuesday.
Yep. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Great job.
Thanks.
We have a waiver rules.
Yes, A8, resolution to appoint members to the South Jersey Economic Development District for the County of Salem.
We've taken A7 off the table, but moving on with A8, can I have a motion to approve waiver rules for A8?
Mr. Director, I make a motion to acknowledge the waiver of rules for resolution A8.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved, unanimous. We have the public hearings and adoptions, correspondence. Commissioners, what's your pleasure on the correspondence? Committee, commission minutes and reports.
Mr. Director, I make a motion that the following correspondence, department reports, and committee minutes be accepted, filed, and made a part of the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Payment of bills and claims. Commissioner, please flow.
Mr. Director, I make a motion that all bills and claims, when properly signed and audited, be paid and charged to their respective accounts.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved, unanimous. Commissioner, what's your pleasure on the treasurer's report?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that the treasurer's report be received and filed, subject to audit, and that it be spread full and complete on the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved, unanimous. Resolutions, administrative.
A1, resolution to appoint members to the Citizens Local Advisory Committee on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, LACADA, Christina Chilling and Shannon Reese. A2, resolution to appoint members to the Salem County Cultural and Heritage Commission, Alyssa Calabiano. A3, resolution to appoint members to the Salem County Tourism Advisory Council, Alyssa Calabiano. A4, resolution to appoint members to the Salem County Advisory Solid Waste Council. There were 15, I didn't report them. A5, amendment to resolution 2022-004 to establish job classification titles and salary ranges. A6, resolution authorizing purchases from state contract vendors. A7, resolution, A7 is off, sorry. A8, resolution to appoint members to the South Jersey Economic Development District for the County of Salem, Charles Haslett.
You've heard the reading, will you take seven resolutions for the pledge?
Mr. Director, I make a motion, we accept these 7 resolutions.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved unanimous. Economic Development and Public Works.
C1, resolution authorizing 2022 aerial dispensing operations by Salem County Mosquito Control. C2, resolution requesting extension of time for the New Jersey Department of Transportation fiscal year 2019 County Aid Improvement Program. C3, resolution requesting an additional extension of time for the New Jersey Department of Transportation fiscal year 2018 Local Freight Impact Fund Grant. C4, resolution requesting extension of time for the New Jersey Department of Transportation fiscal year 2019 Local Freight Impact Grant. C5, resolution approving the execution of change order number 2, final year 3, removal of beam guide rail and installation of beam guide rail at various locations throughout the County of Salem.
Commissioners, you've heard the reading of these 5 resolutions. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Director, I'd like to make a motion to approve these 5 resolutions.
I second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved unanimous. Health and Human Services.
D1, resolution awarding a contract to Senior Care Centers of America, Inc. for providing caregiver program adult day services, medical title 3E to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older Americans Act Area Plan Grant. D2, resolution awarding a contract to Puerto Rican Action Committee of Southern New Jersey for providing assisted transportation to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older American Act Area Plan Grant. D3, resolution awarding a contract to Mid-Atlantic States Career and Education Center for providing congregate nutrition C1 to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older Americans Act Area Plan Grant. D4, resolution awarding a contract to Bayada Home Health Care, Inc. for providing certified home health aid, SAS, to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older Americans Act Area Plan Grant. D5, resolution awarding a contract to Puerto Rican Action Committee of Southern New Jersey for providing residential maintenance to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older Americans Act Area Plan Grant. D6, resolution authorizing termination of a vehicle lease between the County of Salem and New Jersey Transit Corporation. And D7, resolution awarding a contract to Senior Care Centers of America, Inc. for providing adult day services, medical title 3B to the disabled and/or elderly residents of Salem County under the Older Americans Act Area Plan Grant.
Commissioners, you've heard the reading of these 7 resolutions. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Director, I make a motion, we accept these 7 resolutions.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimous. Public Safety.
Public Safety. E1, resolution authorizing contract for expert opinion services with Stephen Simring, MD, MPH, for the Salem County Prosecutor's Office.
Commissioners, you've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Director, I approve this resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Approved unanimous. Commissioners, do we have any old business? Moving on, any questions, any new business? Hearing none. Commissioners, public announcements.
Mr. Director, reminding everyone that next Thursday is the Salem County Chamber of Commerce State County luncheon at noon, I believe it is. And I believe those tickets are sold out. Is she streaming that, do you know?
Good question, I don't know. I know she has a waiting list.
That's probably the biggest hot button. Also, there's been a lot of interest in filming in the county. I was contacting people wanting to make a movie at Cowtown, and you sent out an announcement about film production. So we're going to start getting a little bit of recognition out there as well.
Great. Couple of things, the items for the next commissioner meeting. There's a kebab party to benefit Meals on Wheels, which is tomorrow at Sacramento. It's takeout of it. And then Friday, March 4th, there's a basket auction at Upper Pittsgrove. It's their PTO. That starts at 6 p.m. And the kebab party starts at 5 p.m. Commissioners, any other public announcements? Okay, it's time for public announcement. If you are watching online, thank you for joining us. Please type in any questions you may have for any of the commissioners or the administration team. So, people from the public, please step up, state your name and your address, and receive your comments. Thank you, Patty.
Patty Bonjour, Clemens Point. At a previous meeting, I asked about Code Blue, and I know it's a voucher program, but I received a message yesterday asking some questions which I couldn't answer. There's a family of 4 who are living in their car, and they were wondering how they go about getting a hotel room, or is there like a maximum number of visits, of nights? How does it work now?
Mickey or Jeff?
Not to interrupt, but they should reach out to the Board of Social Services,
Yeah.
and they will provide the emergency assistance for that.
But I didn't get the message until after hours.
Okay.
So
There's like a 24/7 number, and if you call, I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but if you call that, it will go directly to someone at the board, no matter what time it is of day or night, and they will, they're responsible for getting an emergency housing.
since the police departments are involved, is it possible for them to just go to the police?
They can. The police will just call that number up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would look at the
If
board.
I could interject, the Office of Emergency Management makes that announcement when the temperature drops. All local police departments are notified, and they're aware of the number of contacting for social services, and that's how it's handled usually.
211, Patty.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
So, I have some updates here. Habitat for Humanity is in need of a truck with a lift gate. So, the fundraising committee is planning to have a series of small fundraising efforts, and then, earmark it towards getting a truck. So if I can ask anyone who uses Amazon, maybe they can use Amazon Smiles, and the link is on the Salem County Habitat website.
You have, so you can send something to Pat and we can put it out on our Facebook.
All right, thanks. Sumbrella furniture, they're going to do a raffle probably Mother's Day weekend. And of course, I will be back with further information on tickets and things. Habitat is having the groundbreaking on Monroe Avenue and Market Street in Carnes Point. 2 houses going there. That will be Monday, May 2nd at noon. I noticed on Facebook that there's a vendor event March 20th at the Salem VFW that goes 11 to 4. And because Mr. Carney couldn't make it tonight, I told him that I would talk about the NAACP dinner, April 23rd. It's at the Reverend Dorn Hall in Pettown, $55 a ticket. And the VOTEC Car Show, we're combining the Walk for Special Needs on that same day. That will be May 21st at the VOTEC. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
Anyone else? Please step up, state your name and your address. Anyone online? Pat?
Nothing right now. Yes. Brian Pio of LAC, representative of PBA 400. What is the dollar amount for the addition of Juneteenth as a county holiday?
Anywhere between, depends on how you look at it, it could be anywhere between 200,000 and 500,000 for a cost. There's a lot of soft costs. How do you know, there'll be a lot of people that are filling in or positions, not getting the work done, so they have to work either overtime or hire more people to do that. So it's kind of nebulous, very difficult thing to pin down, but we see it's between, you know, hard costs probably 200,000 and soft costs could add up to 500,000. Anything else?
It's all right now.
Okay. We're going to be having a closed session. It will probably be long tonight. We anticipate being anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes. You're welcome to stay. There's some warm rooms upstairs where you can stand out and pull. It's your call. We do not anticipate any motions or anything happening after the closed session other than adjournment. So you're welcome to stay, and otherwise, thank you so much for coming out today. Closed session.
Resolution authorizing executive session, County of Salem, matters relating to litigation, negotiation, and the attorney-client privilege.
Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
A motion, second, all in favor? Raise your right hand. Approved unanimous. We'll take about a 5-minute break. Thank you, everyone.